Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be reading again from Reddit while I show you how I fixed up this Josefina doll. So she's one of the dolls that I received from my most recent unboxing. So as you can see, she's really in need of help because she is very dirty and her limbs are very loose. And since I already have a Josefina in my collection, I'm definitely going to be customizing this one because I don't want to have too many duplicates in my collection. Anyway, so I do hope that I'll be able to survive this because while I'm doing this voiceover, it's very hot here in the Philippines. We're currently experiencing a heat wave. And I cannot turn on my fan because it's going to be very noisy. And the chickens that lives nearby are already crowing because I guess they're roosting or whatever. But anyway, let's push through. I'm going to be reading from the subreddit Am I the Asshole? Let's see what the first story is all about. So this is entitled Am I the Asshole for how I checked my pregnant neighbor for how she was acting with my husband? Okay, very juicy. Okay, so my family, me, husband, 2 daughters, live directly across from our neighbor, Addie, who is, from what I remember, 6 months pregnant. Our neighborhood grew close when her husband died 2 months ago due to a drunk driver. The entire neighborhood basically came to help, and even now, the community still does semi-monthly-ish barbecues and stuff. We know how it felt to have a parent absent. Now, no, my husband did not die, but he was still deployed when we were pregnant with our first. I know that this is not the same thing she's going through. So we often check on her, invited her over, conversations on how to handle being on your own while pregnant. For a couple of weeks now, she's been asking my husband to be her handyman. My husband has no issues with this, and neither did I. Until a week or so ago. She asked my husband for help over the simplest things and barely talks to me anymore. Most times she'll knock, ask if my husband is home, and if I say no, she tells me to let him know she needs him and walks off. No talking, having chai together, nothing. I can admit I am a little bit jealous and felt weird about this. It was like she was only wanting my husband around. I tried to push these feelings aside until the first incident. Basically, she knocked on my door and handed a covered plate of cookies. I got excited and started to thank her, how the girls love cookies. But she interrupted me and told me that these were strictly for my husband. Oh my gosh, okay. Not for us. I had a sour taste in my mouth and thanked her. It made me feel like she was trying to have a big house and little house situation. I let my husband know what happened and how I felt. He assured me nothing was going on, no doubt, but he also agreed that what she did was disrespectful. We agreed he would stop coming over. So he would give her the numbers of men he knows who do maintenance. She has been cold with us. The second incident happened when the new community was having a barbecue in our neighborhood park. The children were running around and us adults were sitting with the lawn chairs talking about whatever. Addie piped up and said how she is grateful to us all for helping her, even me, after it was strange how you basically forbade your husband to come over to help anymore. I got a little mad, like I was slapped by God himself, and just said, well, baking a gift for my husband only and saying his wife and daughters aren't included is strange too. Another neighbor changed the topic, and it was awkward. I'm sure there's gossip and whatnot. On one hand, I know she must still be grieving and maybe she's just looking to have someone to be there for her. On the other hand, I feel like the incident with the cookies and then the barbecue makes me feel disrespected. My husband is not happy with how I responded. He says it's not my job to check someone and I should have just let her talk. I guess I just want to know if I was a jealous asshole through all of this. I don't really have anyone I could talk to about this personally. Okay, first of all, I want to address what the husband reacted when he knew that you talk back to that pregnant lady or pregnant bitch for that matter. Okay, because if he's really a good husband, then he should support you. And what's this about? It's not your job to check her. Of course, it's your job to check her because it's not like you were just chiming in about someone else. Like she does not have this beef with you, and you know, it's not really your problem, because definitely it's your problem because she was trying to shade you. She was throwing shade on you. So definitely it's your job. It's not like you're a martyr and that you owe her something and you're just going to, like, give the other cheek and then let her slap it as well. Definitely, your husband should have been more supportive, and now it even made me even more suspicious of him. Maybe there's nothing going on right now. Maybe they haven't really done anything that is like adulterous or something like that. But maybe they're already in the verge of flirting, and your husband got what do you call this? Like he was a bit guilty about it, and he is stopping himself from letting it continue before it got too late. But I'm so disappointed with your husband for not backing you up. Well, I don't mean that he should confront the lady himself, but definitely he shouldn't tell you to, keep it quiet, that just let it slide. No, why should you? Okay, just because she is a widow, that she's now pregnant and she has to face the reality that she has to raise this child all on her own, it doesn't mean that she could use the victim card all throughout and then make herself look like, oh poor me, I'm being maltreated by this woman who I'm just asking her husband to take care of my needs because I don't have a man in our house. Okay, and I should be pitied. No, okay, definitely it's not their job. Definitely she's in the wrong here. She is very, very wrong for thinking that your husband owes her anything. And what she's doing is very, very disrespectful, as you said, because, okay, so she's basically not acknowledging you as the wife. If I were her, if I had, the common sense, I would make sure to let the wife feel that she has nothing to be threatened about with me. So I'm just there because I just need some help because I'm not, of course, being able to do the plumbing myself, or maybe I cannot afford to get a professional plumber or whatever they need to do in our house because I have to raise this child on my own. But what she did, like bringing in cookies and just telling you upfront that, oh, these cookies are for your husband only and not for you and not for the kids. That's so awkward. Oh, who says that? Who does that kind of thing? Like, no, you don't do that. Okay, so if you're going to give someone like a food and then this person has a family, you're not, oh, that's only for him, not for you and not for the other kids. That's only for him. Don't eat that. That's only for him. Like, what's in this cookies? That makes me so suspicious. Is there a potion, a love potion in the cookies? That's why you don't want other people to eat it. And you really have the nerve to like shame the wife, letting other people know your business that she thinks that you think that the wife forbade him from coming over. Like, if she did, that's her right to do that because again, she's the wife, and who are you exactly? You're just the neighbor. You're not even a relative. You're just a neighbor. And again, if you are having problems getting things resolved around your house, like you have so many things that needs to be done, but you don't have a man around, that's your problem, not your neighbors. And if they don't want to help you, then so be it. It's not it's not their job to help you. And if you want to get help, then you should be gracious, you should be grateful, and make sure that you're not stepping on anyone's toes. And okay, remember that you're like a beggar in this situation, and beggars should not have some airs. You should be humble, and you just have to accept whatever is given to you. Okay, if you don't want to be a beggar, then pay for it yourself. Okay, so anyway, let's just read the top comment. Okay, so according to the top comment, not the asshole, I get that she's grieving and probably not in her right mind, but the cookies was weird. If she said I made them for the husband as a thanks for all the work he's done to me, that's fair. But to say they are strict just for him, that's weird. And you were basically politely letting it go until she called you out in public, so I think it is fair to answer her in public. Plus, honestly, how much DIY or maintenance help does one house need? It's been 2 months since her husband died and your husband has had to go over multiple times. As a single woman who is useless at DIY and has to get someone in to fix almost everything, I don't understand about having people coming monthly every week. Okay. Yeah, okay, exactly. So I think this woman is trying to steal your husband. Okay, I'm sorry to think that way about a pregnant woman, but honestly, she's very, very suspicious. Maybe she's creating this problem so your husband will come over and if you're not careful, she might seduce your husband, even if she's pregnant. Who knows? Okay, if she's trying to make her the daddy of her baby. But seriously, okay, be very careful about this woman. She's very dangerous, I think. Anyway, moving along, let's read this. Okay, so the next Reddit post is, am I the asshole for telling my mom I'll never let her husband adopt me and she needs to get over it? Okay, my parents broke up when my mom was pregnant with me. My dad was in the military when I was little, and when I was 5, he came home all effed up from what he had seen and was never the same again. He ended up doing drugs because medications and therapy weren't helping him and he was doing really badly. I'd see him cry a lot and hold his head, and I know he had flashbacks and relive stuff while I was there. But I never felt unsafe. Just really sad that my dad was hurting. My mom ended up suing for full custody and got more custody of me, but I still got to see my dad every other weekend. Mom hated it and tried to fight that, but the court-appointed therapist said I should have every other weekend with Dad. Mom got married to Dan when I was 9. After they got married, the two of them sat me down and asked me how I'd like Dan to be my dad legally, and we could be a family, all three of us. I told them I already had a dad and I didn't want another one. We went back to court and I found out while speaking to the judge that it was because Mom had tried to sever Dad's parental rights and put in the petition for Dan to adopt me. The judge asked me how I felt about it, and I got so scared that he would do it, and I begged him not to and said I didn't want Dan to be my dad and I didn't want to lose my dad. The judge listened and denied the adoption request. Mom and Dan still fight against me seeing Dad. Mom has taken my phone from me a few times because Dad and I would text during the week. When I was 12, Mom told me Dad had picked drugs over me, and I have Dan now, who would never do that to me. She told me he would be a much better father. I told her Dan wasn't my dad, and no matter how much she hates Dad or thinks he's terrible, I disagree and I love him, and Dan will never be able to compete with that. Okay, I'm sorry, it gets confusing with Dan and Dad. Okay, anyway, Dad has asked me himself a few times to let him adopt me. He told me he loves me and he wants me so badly to be able to look after me. He told me if anything happened to Mom, he would hate to see me live with Dad and be taking care of him. I told him I would rather be with my dad than stay with him, someone who isn't my dad. He got mad a couple of times, and a couple of other times he told me I was showing how young I was. I'm now 15, by the way. So my mom decided to approach Dad and ask him to willingly give up his rights so Dan can adopt me, and she would let him call me once a week and see me once every 2 months. Dad said no and Mom cursed him out. I waited until she was done and I told her I'll never let her husband adopt me and she needs to get over it. She told me she cannot understand me dismissing a good man who loves me and would do anything for me and for a man who can get off drugs for me. I told her Dan doesn't have to live with the demons my dad does. She told me I'll regret my decision in the future and I'm being stubborn for no reason. Am I the a-hole? Okay, no, you're not the a-hole, and I actually commend you for being such a good daughter to your dad. Now, of course, I've never experienced anything like going to war or being in the military because, I would rather not die than go to the military or do anything military related anyway. So, anyway, I have heard that there are a lot of people who get like PTSD after joining the military, especially if you were old enough to join the Vietnam War. Okay, remember there used to be a war, and then America sent a lot of troops there, and they came up, be really messed up. Um, of course, I cannot, I cannot really fathom what exactly goes in a war. But of course, I have a certain idea of what I see in the movies, but yeah, it's definitely a different experience once you're actually there. So I guess it's just sad that your father was not able to recover from that, or at least be able to function well enough to avoid drugs. Um, but who am I to say? Because again, I have never experienced what he experienced. So all I can say is that I'm glad that even though he is using illegal substances, he still tries to be a good father to you. Now, as for your mother, I could maybe understand her frustration. Maybe she was just frustrated because she felt that your father could have been stronger. He should have fought that his demons, or and be a better husband and father to you. But again, I cannot dismiss that. I know that there's are probably struggles that we are not going to be able to know since we're not in that position. But I really can't understand why she's trying to like remove you from your father's life. I mean, it's not like you are the one who has beef with your father, like you hate him. It sounds like you really love your father, and that's the way it should be, because well, you wouldn't be alive right now if it wasn't for your father. Because it's not like your mother was the one who bore you all by herself. Of course, you need a, a man and a woman to create a baby, and you're the product of that union. So, yeah, definitely I support your idea. It looks like your father also loves you. He wants to be in your life, even though he's battling um, his problems. Okay, and I'm not sure with your stepfather, as he sounds like a good man, but okay, of course we know. Okay, even biological fathers abuse their children, and I guess I'm just weirded out because well, maybe he is really a good man. He really wants to be your father, but I just don't know why he's so eager. Because okay, well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he really likes you. He really wants to be your father because he loves your mother and he wants you to be his real daughter. Although I don't understand why that will stop him from being like a sort of father to you, even if you're not legally his daughter. It doesn't really matter because that's just a piece of paper. He can definitely show you fatherly love, even if you're not like you don't have a court order, or you don't have a piece of paper showing that you are his daughter. Okay, it shouldn't matter anyway. But yeah, I just hope that you and your mom and then your biological dad will be at peace. Maybe someday it will happen. Maybe your mother will forgive your father and then let you just have a relationship with him, because I'm really, really sad that she is trying to separate you from your father. Maybe there is something happened between the two of them that made her really despise him. Again, we don't know because we don't know the full story. We only know what the OP shared with us. But yeah, I do understand that this is very, very, very sensitive, and I do hope that there will be healing for everyone. Okay. So let's go ahead and read the next one. Okay, so this one, okay. So this is titled, Am I the asshole for demolishing our family home while my brothers were on vacation? Okay, let's see. I'm not the type of person who'd ask strangers for advice, but I'm genuinely too embarrassed to tell my friends. I'm also terribly guilt-ridden and confused. One minute I think I'm fully in the right, and the next I think I'm being horrible. My parents died 4 months ago due to a long-standing health issue and old age. My mother first, and then 3 weeks later, my father. Okay, I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay. My parents had 2 sons and 1 daughter. I'm 38. My brothers are 46 and 47. So my brothers live at our parents' house. All their lives, our parents catered to them hand and foot. They fed their egos 3 meals a day. As they aged, it became harder and harder. Eventually, they were just worn out by my brothers. Throughout the last few years, my parents tried to set boundaries, but my brothers took it as a declaration of war. In the end, they pretty much lived in fear of my brothers. When my parents died, they left me the house and some money. I was truly surprised. Like everyone else, assumed my brothers would get it all. They left a letter saying they greatly regretted having favored my brothers and for having to rely on me in their old age, and as compensation for having financially supported them the past 15 years, they left the house and for the $525,000 of insurance payouts to be divided between the three of us. They acknowledged in the letter that they know the house and my $175,000 doesn't come close to financially compensating me, but they hope it at least helped. My plans are to use my share of the inheritance to fix up the house. It's an old house and it needs a considerable amount of work to bring it up to code. My brothers had no intentions in helping me with the house. They continued being lazy, arrogant, and entitled. I continued to pay all the utility bills and whatever else the house needed. I couldn't afford to keep paying. I asked them to move out several times and they flat out refused. My brothers also went through their inheritance like it was nothing. They are quickly running out of money. They bought cars, went to Vegas, and just spent like there was no tomorrow. I had enough of trying to be reasonable and I demolished half of the house while they were on their cruise. My brothers went on a cruise last month and during that time away I packed all their things into 2 storage units and paid 6 months in advance for them and just let the construction crew start working on the house. My brothers returned to a construction site. They called and texted me a few hundred times but I never picked up. Eventually they got other family members to call me. Everyone is making me out to be a monster. Apparently, I'm a terrible sister and that my parents would be disappointed in me for leaving my brothers homeless and living in a motel. I feel like I've done enough for them. I've supported them in some way or another my whole life. I try to be reasonable, but they are unreasonable and insanely entitled. Okay, definitely you're not the asshole here. If I were in your shoes, definitely I would have thrown out my brothers out of the house because technically the house belonged to me now because my parents or your parents um like gave you the house. It is in their last will and testament that you are the sole owner of the house. Since they are the ones who are very entitled, they think that they are um, God's gift to the world, that everyone's supposed to cater to them hand and foot. Well, I'm going to teach them that no, that's not going to happen now because your parents are long gone and you're not going to be their doormat. Okay, so definitely I think you should have asked the police to get them out of the house. And you are in the right for demolishing the house. But it's not like you demolished the house um, out of spite and you're just going to leave it like that. You demolished it because you had construction going on. But I would say that you should make sure that your brothers will not be able to enter the premises once it's finished because I'm afraid for you. that once it's constructed, you're just going to allow them again to stay in the house? No. Okay, if that was me, I would tell my brothers to get the F up. Like, I don't care if they're homeless, if they have to live on the streets, I don't care. Okay, because I don't like them anyway. So they can just rot in the streets for all I care. So yeah, you're not the asshole. And these your relatives who are trying to demonize you, tell you that you're in the wrong for being a terrible sister, for throwing out your brothers. Again, okay, if they feel so sorry for your brothers, then okay, they're very very much welcome to help them, and then let them live in their houses. Okay, it's not your problem anymore. It's not like these are like teenagers who cannot take care of themselves. So we're talking about um, males in their 40s. So definitely, if they want to, um, have a good future or live comfortably, then they should work and then find a way to get a roof over their heads. It's not your problem. Let them figure it out. Okay. So anyway, so let's read the next one, and I'm not sure if this is going to be the last one, depending on how long this is going to be. Okay. Okay. So this is titled, "Am I the asshole for telling my son he needs to get a job if he wants to date his girlfriend?" Okay, my 43 female son is 16. He loves sports and does a different sport each season. Cross country during fall, wrestling during winter, track and field during spring, and he also does wrestling camp during the summer. Oh my, he must have a really big body. Anyway, she doesn't have a job, and I have never pressured him to. He doesn't have an allowance, but I buy him whatever he wants within reason. Okay, if he wants new clothes or shoes, I buy them. If he wants to go eat a nice meal at a restaurant, I'll take him. If there's a new movie coming out he wants to go, I'll take him to it. Okay, great. So, okay, he recently started dating a girl from his track and field team. I met her recently and she seems like a nice girl. I paid for the first couple of dates, but as the relationship has started to get more serious, they gone on more dates and to more expensive places. Okay? For example, their first date was literally at Starbucks, so I just gave him some money for coffee and snack. But now he started taking her out to the movies and more expensive restaurants. He also started buying her gifts like chocolates. Okay, I sat my son down and told him that he'll need to get a job so he can pay for his dates if he wants to continue dating his girlfriend and taking her on dates. He really doesn't want to, and as he loves sports and going to a job after school means he wouldn't be able to attend his practices and tournaments. I've tried to negotiate by saying that he could get a job on the weekends, but then he said he wouldn't have any time to study or do homework. I explained to my son that part of growing up is choosing what's important to you. Does he want to continue doing sports or dating his girlfriend? I did sports in my first year of high school and I loved it too. But due to my family's financial situation, I had to start working when I was only 15 years old and never did sports again. He's pretty mad and been sulking a lot recently. I've talked to some of my friends and family members about my decision and to make my son get a job if he wants to continue dating. And while some agree, something I should just pay for my son's date since I'm risking him resenting me for either making him break up with his girlfriend or making him quit sports. So Reddit, am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole, definitely. Okay, so I guess that's my favorite word, definitely. But yeah, you're not the asshole. Your son sounds like very entitled and spoiled. And I'm so sorry, but I think you made him that way because it sounds like you give in to each of his whims. You did say that as long as it's reasonable, but is it really reasonable to just, okay, I want new clothes. Okay, here. Okay, I'm going to buy new clothes or what. And even if, I think it's so awkward that your son expects you to pay for his dates with his girlfriend. Like, I mean, the audacity. I really can't believe that because that's not going to fly here in the Philippines. Like, I don't know, unless you're very rich, I guess. But to me, it sounds so cringy and awkward to ask for your parents' money to pay for some for your girlfriend? Like, what is that? Like, okay, I definitely, if he wants to date this girl, if he's really serious about this girl, he wants to shower her with gifts, then he should work for it. Because what if, okay, what if the time comes that he wants to get married? So are you supposed to spend on the wedding as well? Are you going to be supporting them when they're already married? Like, you need to set boundaries at this time. Let him know that, okay, it's time to be an adult. Since you're adult enough to go into a relationship and then you like this girl, you want to be, a man, okay, and date this woman, I guess, if it's enough to call this girl a woman or your son a man at his age 16. But anyway, so he wants to be an adult because he wants to be in a relationship. Then he should start by getting a job first. If he wants to spend on his girl, then well and good. But he should use his own money. So it's not your responsibility to spend for him and his girlfriend. Okay? So yes, support him until he's finished with college, or at least help him out, because I think your son is really, really entitled, and it made me so really cringe inside hearing about what you're doing for your son. It's really too much. And yes, if I were you, do not give in. Okay, tell him that if he wants to be in a relationship, he wants to spend money on this girl, then he should get a job. So set the priorities, and you're not going to spoil him. Let him know that enough is enough. He's no longer a child. Go ahead and get a job, because if I'm sure he could get a job like in McDonald's or whatever, like I don't know, babysitting. Okay, whatever. So he needs to do something for himself if he wants to spend on this girl. Anyway, I'm just going to read the top comment. So the top comment says, info. Instead of buying your son what he wants, shoes, clothes, why not give him an allowance and let him learn how to manage his own money? I'm not convinced giving up sports is the answer here. Edited to add without info, I'm at you're the asshole because there are better ways of approaching this. Okay, well, I don't agree with that at all. Okay, so he's not going to use the allowance to, pay for his dates. I'm sorry, I'm not sports-minded person, so I really don't care about sports. So that's why I am in the inclination of just giving up on sports, because I don't care. I don't like to sweat. I don't like to perspire. So, and I don't like sports. Okay, so yeah, my first inclination is just to give it up. Okay, there are better things to do than sports. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. Okay, for me, I'd rather him give up on sports and then just, go get a job. Because unless he's really planning to make it his career, maybe he plans to be a wrestler. I don't know if that's actually a profession. I know there are professional wrestlers, but I don't know. I just don't think that you can really earn a lot from that, but what do I know? Okay, so anyway, so I think it's better for you to just tell him upfront that it's better for him to just quit sports if he cannot really manage to toggle between the two, like earning a living or getting a job while still doing sports. Then okay, unless he wants to give up on the girlfriend and let her go. But anyway, I think that will be the last story or the post that we'll be reading from Am I the Asshole? I hope that you enjoyed the stories that I chose. I know I'm very opinionated, and I do apologize if like I could get too emotional and my grammar, because English is not my first language, and I'm trying to really practice, because it only benefit me to speak English better. Yeah, anyway, so there'll be more videos to come. I do have a lot of videos stored here in my phone, because I shot a lot of videos while I was fixing the dolls that I received recently. So I'll be showing you my doll, so the finished product in a short while. So this is my doll Ines. So she is a Josefina Montoya base. I customized her. I gave her new new eyebrows, and I removed the makeup from her face. I tightened her limbs, and of course I rewigged her. I don't remember where I got the wig. I think this is from another American Girl doll. I just can't remember from which one, but yeah, it's an American Girl doll wig, and I do like the way she looks now, better than she did before. Um, because I do, as I mentioned earlier, I already have a Josefina, so it's very important to me that she looks quite different from Josefina Montoya. And as you can see, I've been toying with this wig. This is actually a hair topper, a bun topper, but for some reason I cannot get it to work on her. I think it doesn't look very flattering. It looks kind of messy. So yeah, I gave up on that, and I just chose another wig. I named her Ines, by the way, after my favorite character from a manhwa that I'm currently reading. So here she is. So this is Ines. I hope that you like the way I styled her. But anyway, so stay tuned for more videos. I'll be posting at least once a week. I hope you like my videos, my very scattered and rambling videos. But yeah, I dressed her Ines in this dress that I had my friend sew for me. Okay, so that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching this far. God bless, and more dolls to come. Bye!